There was at least 3 stations in there, possibly 4. I thought I heard a Mobile in there. If there's a Mobile, go ahead. No Mobile in there, so the loudest one, go ahead.
3 Tango Romeo Golf.
Tango Romeo something?
3 Tango Romeo Golf. Tom in Pennsylvania.
Tango Romeo Golf. Tom in Pennsylvania. Is that a Roger?
Roger. I'm running a ICOM 7300. I'm using a FM30 ICOM mic, and I want to do an ICOM ALS 600 at about 400 watts, and I'm running an 80-meter silent quad.
Roger, Tom. Now, this is one of those circumstances that I keep talking about, the importance of top-end articulation, because you were giving me about 4 dB above my noise level, so I should have been able to copy you well, but I was having difficulty, and it has to do with needing a little more brightness on your audio so it will define the words a little bit better. That 7300 is a beautiful radio, and if the dynamic microphone is not going to perform as well as the hand condenser microphone that it came with. Dynamic microphones, by and large, have certain difficulties in achieving the articulation that a condenser microphone does. So, but nobody wants to use a hand mic on their radio necessarily, you know. So what I advise is that you go to your top-end EQ and punch up about 4 or 5. If you have a 1 to 10 push capability, if it's labeled that way, 1 to 10, I would go to a 4 or 5 mid-range, mid possibilities on the top end. Roger?
Roger, I copied the up in the EQ. I don't know what that adjustment.
You're not familiar with your 7300.
I just got it set up this week.
All right. Well, do you happen to have a pen and pencil or paper and pencil?
Roger.
All right. What I would do if I were you, when you find where EQ is, when you find where equalization is, I would go to the top of the equalization, and I would bring that up to a +4 or 5. I would say a +4 for right now. A +4 on the top end. Leave your mid-range flat and go to the bottom end and make that maybe a -1 for right now till you can figure out what's going on. But that will start to help the dynamic microphone match the actual performance of the stock condenser hand mic that came with your radio. Roger? And Tom, I'll tell you, the conditional gods have got us. They have given you a 30 dB drop, and you're into my noise at the moment. Let's try one more time, see if conditions have reversed. If you can copy me, try again, please, sir. I'm sorry, try one more time. You got hit by some static. Try again.
Yeah, I was just asking about whether I could keep the
yeah, I got half of that, the first half. Are you asking about the compression? I tell you what, right now I can't copy you very well, so I would just leave the compressor where it is, and maybe we can just try that, working on that another day. There is a whole bevy of things that you can do that, you know, that 7300 is chomping at the bit to do. Roger, Roger.
All right, well, hey, I appreciate the information you did give me. I'll try to make some adjustments, and then I'll try another day.
Roger, Roger. Well, you know, like I say, it's that EQ will, if you punch up that top-end EQ, that will help with the articulation of that dynamic mic. And that would be the first thing I would do. And I would also look at my ALC. There's another deal there. You know, when you swap mics from a hand mic to a desk mic, you're going to probably have a difference in audio level from those two microphones. So I would check out my ALC. You have a meter there called ALC probably, and I would go to that meter and go for mid-scale to 2/3 deflection on that meter, and that you adjust that by bringing up your mic gain. Bring your mic gain up to where the ALC meter is reading 1/2 to 2/3 fluctuation. Roger.
All right, I copy that. I'm checking out my ALC right now. I'm about halfway to 2/3 the way up, so I don't know if that's sounding any better there.
Okay, the other thing is, KC9VKV, the other thing is that you want your radio to be in the widest format possible, in the widest band possible. You know, you have 3 selections. Put it in the top one, the 3K. Roger.
Yes. Now that's on transmit.
Repeat.
So that's the transmit. I was thinking that was the filters were for receive. But you're talking about a transmit selection?
Roger, that band selection covers both transmit and receive. So when you restrict yourself other than maximum, you are really doing yourself a disservice, because you're going back to 1954. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are cringing when I say that, but I'm just saying that you want to be in the widest possible band pass of the radio. And unfortunately, one of the things that's tricky about that 7300 is that everywhere you go, you have a chance to restrict your band width. Unfortunately, I would have wished that they had put just one place where you would adjust the bandwidth, because now you have to check your compressor, you have to check your AOC, or all kinds of things, equalization, to see what how, you know, if you're in the wide mode. So go through those, make sure you're in the wide mode. Roger.
So I'm going to keep the compressor on and increase the widest band pass, and watch my ALC and adjust my equalizer. So those are great tips that you gave me there. I'm going to work on that, and I really appreciate the time that you spent doing it. It's a really nice service. So KC9VKV, this is Whiskey 3, Tango Radio Golf, and 73. Thanks a lot.
Roger, 3's that away, and that's a beautiful radio. That 7300 is the all-time, so far in my book, best radio that ICOM has made. Although the 7610 is getting a lot of recognition, and I'll have to check that out a little bit more. I'm thinking in the ultimate. In the ultimate situation, the 7610 may be a little more versatile radio in that they have a magic circuit in that 7610 that is called drive. And what drive does is a dynamic range cruncher. In other words, usually, you start off uncompressed and all that, and you have a dynamic range of 10 to 1 or something like that, because you're not processing anything. And then as you develop your ALC, drive that a little bit, and then as you bring the compressor in there at about a 3 or so, you start to close that dynamic range to about a 3 dB range, which is pretty good. But that 7610, I have seen the dynamic range crunched by using that control down to like a half a dB. It was just an amazing thing. So because of the drive control, the 7610 may ultimately outperform the 7300. But it's the same company, So what are you going to do? Threes. We'll have to say that to that the gentleman we were just talking to, and I hope that he took notes and can find his equalization and be able to crank in a little top end for articulation purposes. This is KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog program.